Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I am tuning in live on my phone real quick while I smoke a cigarette and then we'll head in because it is hot today. It is hot today. Yes, it is. Humid. It's a very humid day. We need some rain. In the last couple of days, we got just a little bit, but the other day, what was it yesterday that Gina got hit with a storm. So, Gina, how are you, my girl? Hey, Dagmar. Hey, Gina. Yes, that was my thunder in the picture. That's my boy. He's always with me. He's my shadow. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some rain. Not hard, hard, but just a good soaking rain. But it misted and rained a little bit the other day, and it was so hot outside that the steam just flowed up off of the street. And it's so beautiful when it does that. I don't know what it is. It's that natural steamy reaction, and it's beautiful. I'd like to capture it, but so how's everybody doing? Come on in to the hub and get situated. I've got a topic to talk about today. Just a question that I have no judgments about, which when we get into it, you'll see. But I'm just wondering how everybody else feels about it. And so we're going to talk about it and discuss it and chat about it a little bit. And oh, you did lose power, and your power came back on at midnight. There was a beautiful double rainbow. Oh my gosh, Gina, really? Double rainbow. That's a beautiful sign. Yes, it is. I love rainbows. Did you happen to get a picture? Did you get a picture of it? So, Gina, let me tell you. I pulled out the Lake House diamond art, the supper one, the dinner. And baby, it's dinner. And if you roll it out the right way, then it's up and down and you roll it out to the right. And I don't have enough room to work it like that. So I had to turn it sideways and roll it up. So I'm working on it sideways. Yeah, I'm working on it sideways. But it's easy. I mean, the Diamond Art Club canvases they're just amazing. I can't speak highly enough. Hey, me, how are you? Oh, you'll have to send me the picture, Gina. That way I can upload it. I meant to upload and get some things up for today, but Indie Mom, she got through with her one of her little diamond arts. I think that was it. I can't remember who sent it to her. Anyway, and she put it up on her community post, so everybody can run over there and check out her community post. I think it was Miss G that sent it to her, and it's a beautiful diamond art picture of two doves hanging out together. It's beautiful. But yeah, Gina, I rolled out my diamond art, so it's sideways, and I'm rolling it from the top up. I'll send you a picture. I think I did send you a picture, didn't I? But anyway, I've got the first strip on the very bottom, across the bottom, almost done, and it's about a hand width. I always do mine. I pull my cellophane up to about a hand width. That's what I can do. So, how's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful Friday. TGIF, right? And It is hot and humid. How's your weather in your neck of the woods? Our garden is prospering and growing, and I've got everything that I need now to process and can all the vegetables and harvest that we get. So here soon I will be a busy woman, and I will probably bring you live with me to the kitchen a lot. So, we just have to go with the groove and adapt to the changes and make it work. We could talk about canning and whatever else we want to talk about. So, yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. I'm doing well, Megan. I've been kind of in a down slump. I've been in between medicines. They started me on a medication and it wasn't working for me, and I had to come off of that medication. So now I'm pretty much back to where I started, and when I'm just feeling kind of blah. But mhm. I'll be in on the computer in a minute. Oh yeah, Dagmar. Yeah, girl, it is humid here. I mean, just sitting here talking to you, smoking a cigarette, I've got sweat in between my elbow and my arm, where you bend your arm at. Yeah, Gina. I'm excited though. I'm excited to be back. I really feel like I do need to be on an extra medication personally, but I do feel that I'm ready to get up and get in there. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something, guys. I just feel like I'm missing something. And, maybe I'm looking for something that ain't in a medicine. I don't know. But I'm going to choose to look for happiness and be busy, stay busy. Okay, guys, so let me go in here. Well, all the roosters are coming up front. It's funny. Oh, is it buffering? Hello, Queen. Hi, my dear. Okay, honey, get ready for work. Yes, guys. Hey, Prudently. What's up, Prue? Hold on just a second. Let me get to my computer, guys. Okay, guys, I'm here. So, hey, Prue. I was in the Bible study. I've been trying to make it, girl. Been trying to be there. And looks like it's going really good. And I'm proud of you. I think that you have a very good way of teaching and explaining. And yeah, I think it's great. I think that sometimes, though, and you probably find this yourself because I've found it whenever I would go to, like, the prison system and preach. You never know who you're coming in contact with And sometimes we assume that the people that we're talking to or whatever, um, doesn't know Jesus or doesn't, have a faith and so but what I had to learn was meet them where they are, meet them where they are. Don't you always walk in with a clean slate, no judgment, and definitely don't judge a book by its cover because a book can be deceiving. Look inside. Look inside a man's heart. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I think it's great. I think that, yeah, I miss preaching. I miss teaching, actually, Prue. I do. And I can tell it when I'm in there and in your room because I feel, that teaching spirit come up. It's just the word of God that I have feasted on so lovingly in the past, is there. It's there. It never leaves you. So, um, oh yeah, definitely, Megan. I struggle with that. I struggled in my Christianity walk, not my faith. I've always had my faith, but I struggled in my walk with other Christian people because they didn't have, or therefore don't have, an understanding of meeting people where they are versus you having to be or believe something before I can be or know you as a friend. You see what I'm saying? I think that everyone has something to offer. Not I'm not talking about a psychotic serial killer or nothing like that. In my opinion, I'm just saying that we all should have a voice and we have something to offer, and we never know what someone else has walked. So, hey, Miss R, how are you? How are you? Good, good. Yes, Queen is loving her job, everybody. She goes in tonight, and I miss her when she's gone, but I'm so happy for her, and I think it's great. I think it's a step up. I think it's a move forward in her walk and in her journey and in her healing. So let's give her a pat on the back and a big thumbs up because she deserves it. Dagmar says, never judge a person. You never know what happened or what is going on in someone's life. That's true, Dagmar. Very true. We don't know. And sometimes even when you do know or think you don't know. You know what I'm saying? We tend to, we live in a society where everybody jumps to assumptions and makes it into a reality just because they speak it. And, we've got to be careful of that, you know. Uh, I might take you up on that, Prue. I might take you up on that offer. I might take you up on that offer. I mean, me and my husband had a conversation, about it because he asked how it was going, and I was talking to him about it, because of the different things you do get with people, trolls and different things that you have to deal with. But, really, it's been, I would say, to a minimal. And, um, you know, you're learning something out of it. People are learning that God is a loving God, right? That's true too, Megan. The more you push, the more one will try to step back. Yeah, There's sometimes that people just aren't ready, they're, and it's okay. It's okay. Oh, really, Gina? Oh, that's so funny. Yes. We ended up, when we left the church that I was once a part of, and then we left, and I say we because it was my husband and I and my mother-in-law and several other couples, and we created our own little get together, and we would get together on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights and have dinner and have the word. And so, really laid back, really open. Everybody could talk. You could sit and smoke your cigarettes. You could have coffee. Your stomach is full. You're having a good time of fellowship. And yeah, just have church. You don't have to be in a building, church building. No, 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 I don't believe that atheists are evil. No, Megan, I don't. Y'all, I'm clicking on these. I'm trying to keep up. Well, you're welcome, Queen. You're my girl. You know that. Hey, I might want. TC's girlfriend hair is blue, so I might want to do mine. Yeah, I might do that. Prudently, I'm really, really. Let me think about that and get with you. Yeah, let me do that. I used to have some really old. I used to keep every teaching, everything that I wrote, everything that I wrote, I kept. And when I did a teaching, I wrote everything out. That's how much studying I did. It was a whole, you know, book and references and everything. Uh, I'm a very word based teacher. I want you to understand, the word. So I'm really interested in doing that. Definitely, definitely. Look, I don't serve them, from my point of view and in my Christianity belief. And I've had people come up against me on this, and I'm okay with that. I'll argue with them about it. Just because you don't believe the same way I do doesn't mean that we can't be friends. And I know some people that, excuse me, believe otherwise. I just don't feel the need to pressure anyone to believe in a certain faith that I do, or a certain, my God. Um, First of all, you can't make someone believe anything. They always have to come to their own conclusion and their own perceptions. Um, you can influence very heavily, but even then, there are some people that you think you're influencing, but you're really pushing them away. And the word of God says is that it's the love of God that draws a man to repentance. Not you beating him over the head with the Bible, screaming in his face that he's not supposed to do that, or he's not supposed to be this or that, right? Yeah, does the gray turn bluish after a while? Yeah, I just respect you, period. You're a human. I respect you. Right. No, no ugly tinge. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, You know, there's a fine line. This is how I feel, is that you can make your point on any subject in a way and in words not to offend someone. Okay? And the problem is today, one of the problems is today is that there are people that get offended over the simplest thing. You know, I mean, I've had people call me fat and worse on here. I had somebody really go after me, call me really, really terrible names. And it, I didn't even respond to it except, whatever. You don't know me. You don't know me. And your words don't matter to me. You know, but I could have been easily offended and I could have cried over it and I could have came on and I could have talked 6 months about it and went on about it. But I choose not to do that. And that's where, people need to not be so easily offended. But yet there's also people that need to learn how to deliver their statements or messages without trying to offend or hurt, because many people do that here on YouTube. They like to make those little jabs at you. And some of them just come full force at you. Hey, Chirpin Burp, how are you today? How's the weather? How's the smokiness and all that? How's that looking? Oh, yeah, you did change your name. Yeah, I see that now. Hey, just me. So we got just me and me here. Yeah. Yeah, I certainly believe, the word of God says, and I know, look, people, just because I go and say the word of God, it just means that I'm using that as a reference. I don't mean it as in I'm trying to beat you in the head. I'm just stating what I know and my point of reference. And my point of reference is that, God doesn't want us to be easily offended because he knows what it can lead to. It can lead to death. And how many times have we seen that in real life? You know, you might not see it in your real life, but on TV, you see it. People get offended, drive down the road, someone makes gestures, get in a road rage, they shoot each other, boom, someone's dead. Just as simple as that. It's crazy, but that's how it works. Offense will get you caught up. It will get you caught up. I try not to, I really, really do my best to try not, I don't get easily offended. I make myself aware. You can ask Indie Mom this. I've gotten, many calls, not many, but several calls that, either someone has been offended or, or, oh my gosh, someone said this about you. What are you going to do? And they're kind of waiting on a response. And my response is nothing, because I don't really give a shit what you think. This is my platform and this is my life, and I'm not coming after nobody and I'm not mean to nobody. So if you think you want to come after me, come on. I mean, what do I say to that? Who cares? I don't. This is Honeybees Homestead. We don't have drama, and we're not easily offended here. I have feelings, but I'm not gonna give you that much power to where you upset me over something like that. You know what I'm saying? Choose to what you're gonna let upset you, right? Yep. I agree, Sue. And look, I've seen this happen. I mean, this is so easy, because I've done this. Uh, even being a Christian myself, I've been around other Christians that I would literally tell them, you're so holy that you're no earthly good. Okay? You're so holy and spiritual, but you're no earthly good. Jesus came here as a man to be in the earth. He was earthly good. We are to do good in this earth. And we will be known for our fruit. What have you left behind? What do you have growing on your tree? What fruit do you have to offer? And you don't see that. Holy rollers. It's so funny that you say holy roller, because Chirp and Burp. Oh, holy rollers. Oh, I wanted to let you know I ended up getting that Instagram. I meant to message you back, but it was hilarious, girl. Fucking hilarious. But yeah, I get you what you're saying. Yeah, they turn around and do what they're preaching against. But this is the thing, Chirp and Burp. It says, "Judge not, lest you be judged." So usually, what you find yourself doing, or we find ourselves doing, is we can sit there and talk about something, and we'll be sitting in judgment and talking about that person and judging them for that thing, but yet we can't see it in our own life. And what is that saying? Take the stick out of your own eye, before you remove the fleck out of mine. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm preaching now. Come on, darn lady in the syrup bottle. Oh yeah, it was somebody. Hold on. Yeah, sorry, I had to cough. It was somebody, Prue, that was on someone else's panel, and they got mad because I'd said something and I dropped down or whatever. This was way back. It's been a while. I remember his name now. I'm not going to call his name, but anyway. Um, and he's no longer allowed at my friend's channel, and they were used to be buddies. But the thing was, is that he really, you can ask Indie Mom. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, prudently. Yeah. But I went back at him, told him, you don't know who I fucking am, man. You do not know who I am. You don't. Mm-mm. And you can call me fat all day long. I don't care. I am fat. I'm chubby. I'm healthy. If you don't like it, don't look at me. I don't care. Honeybees, Yankee Call says, good afternoon. Oh, good. The weather's getting better, but I can still feel some grit in my throat. Oh, wow. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Welcome, welcome. So, I've got 15 in the house. Just pushing it back up more. Oh, that would be good, Chirp. Good, good, good. Queen says, I'm the one easily offended, not Mel. Oh, that's funny, girl. It's true, though. I mean, the thing is that I, I don't know. There's like, I just don't care. I really don't care. And, you know, I'm not going anywhere. Right, Indie Mom? I'm not going anywhere. What's up, Mitch? What's going on? What's wrong with him? Larry. Oh, okay. Sorry, y'all. My dog was barking. Choking. Hey, Chandra. Hey, honey. How you feeling? How are you? I've been meaning to text you, but when I'm doing diamond art, I think about everything, but then I don't get my fingers busy to texting. So, oh, thank you, Yankee. Thank you for sharing me out. Thank you guys for sharing me out. Y'all hit that like button. Yes, everybody, you should check out the Break Room's latest video of the farting preachers. It's hilarious, y'all. You'll get a really good laugh. Somebody can drop their link or something, Sue, if you want to grab that. Um, yeah, let me get through real quick. Okay, girl, love ya. Have a good night, and call me when you get off or text me. Thank you, me. Thank you, Megan. Love you, girl. Thanks for being here. Um, I don't know where Miss G is. Maybe I know she said something about having a job. So, but I do know she's okay. Hey, Mr. P. Mr. P's in the house. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Yankee Kyle. Yes, shout out to all of my mods. You guys are great. I love my mods, all of my mods. And if anyone needs a link drop, just put a thumbs up and we can go grab that link and get it dropped for you. Oh, good, Chandra. Yeah, we just played a game and talked about a few things. And, you know, just me says, I don't get but hurt if he tries to talk on me, but never say about it. Okay, just me. Okay, yes, ma'am. I feel the same way. Okay? Yeah. Don't don't mess with my family. Don't do that. And many people on these YouTube streets like to take this into behind the scene into your household type deal, and uh, I wouldn't do that in my real life. I'm not going to do it in my YouTube life. I don't do that. Thank you, Mr. P. Thank you. We're going to be talking about mediums. I'm going to see what you guys think about mediums. And for the ones who have lost loved ones, would you consider, if it was a top-notch medium, take for instance Teresa Caputo, would you be willing to go have a meeting with her in the hopes of hearing from your deceased loved one? Long question, but in essence, yeah. Oh, you want me to drop the link? Hold on. Hold on, Mr. P. I usually don't let anyone come up on my panel, Mr. P, but let's do this. Okay, hold on just a second. It's coming up. Hold on. Okay, Mr. P. Let me see. Hey, Lori Rose. Hey, hun. Oh, that's okay, girl. That's okay. Don't worry. No worries. Which medium, Lori? Which medium? Really, Chandra? Awesome. Yeah, I'm real. We're going to get in and talk about what my beliefs are. I'm kind of I am a skeptic to a certain degree, but I do feel a trueness or a sense of realness with Teresa. Um, is that really just me? Um, yeah, um, yeah, that's a whole different topic, Megan. A deep topic right there, girlfriend. Um, I have heard some questionable things about her too. Um, and things are edited. It is a show. Uh, yeah, and that's the thing is I don't really have a pinpoint on her, but I feel in my heart a genuine sense of a gift of some sort. Um, okay, so Megan says you would have to go with no, so you wouldn't visit a medium for that notion is to yeah. Okay, leave things be, let the dead rest, and move on in healthy ways. Okay. Who was it, Chandra? Oh yes, Tyler Henry. Oh yes, Lori Rose. I do follow him. I've watched his whole. Um, I've watched his whole Netflix uh, series already. I'm hoping the season 2 comes out. Um, but there's also that Tyler Henry and Teresa are the only ones that I've really over through the years thought to myself, okay, well, you know, if I had a chance, I would pick Tyler over Teresa. But Teresa also brings such a sense of love. Here's hey, Mr. P, show yourself, Mr. P. Oh, okay. You're in a car. All right. What's up, Mr. P? How are you?
Hey, Honeybee, what's happening?
Not much. You driving?
Yeah, it's got a long drive, and I seen you were live listening, and I love the topic.
Yeah, I was actually watching. I saw just a clip this morning of Teresa Caputo, and I was like, you know what? I wonder how many people, if they could, I was thinking about it, how many people in the chat would go see a medium to talk with a lost loved one. How do you feel?
I mean, I've thought about it. I don't know if you can hear me or
I,
not.
yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Can everybody hear? I think so. I think everybody can hear.
Yeah, and bear
Yeah.
with me because I'm driving may drop out a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. So I've had a lot of people in my life, Mr. P, pass away. A lot.
Hmm.
Like, my mom and dad are gone. My brother is gone. I've lost a son, a grandson,
Wow.
my father in law, my brother in law. So in the last 15 years, it's been just loss after loss. And I'm talking major losses. You know,
Yeah.
my, my son
I'm so
passed
sorry.
away from cancer. My mom passed away from cancer. So I do have a feeling of there were some things maybe left unsaid. And, I don't know, I'd just like to have a reading.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I'm really sorry. Uh, for your loss, especially if you had that much loss so close to home.
Thank
I
you,
can only
Mr. Pate.
imagine.
Thank you.
I can only imagine losing something. I don't know what that's like. Condolences from the bottom of my
Thank
heart.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I've actually thought about this before, which is why I wanted to hop up. You know, I was really, really close with my dad, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, he would basically be, I would say, my biggest fan. I mean, he just, you know, anything I've ever done, he's always supported. He's always been there. And then he got Alzheimer's, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
very quickly I felt like I wasn't able to communicate with him on the same level anymore. And then eventually, you know, you know how it is. I don't know if you've ever lost anybody
Yes.
with Alzheimer's, but
Yeah.
they're not themselves anymore. And there was just so
No,
much
they're
that I
not.
wanted to talk to him about. You know, I wanted him to meet my wife. I wanted him to meet my stepdaughter. And it just, you know, I don't know if he actually knows that stuff. So I've always thought about that and what that would be like.
Yeah. Yeah. Alzheimer's is so sad, because they basically lose their memory of you right in front of you. And it's hard for us to comprehend that. But I think they have done studies um, where you can play music and stuff for Alzheimer's patients. This is just something that came up in my mind thinking about this, but that somehow help them with their memories and make them comprehend what was happening at that time. So I think maybe in the recesses of his mind, he did know that you were married. And yeah, I think so. I think that whatever you see, you retain. So somewhere in there, he knew. But
Yeah.
still, to want to hear that from him, you know, I don't know. I just feel like there's a certain healing process that could take place um, through a genuine situation. You know what I'm saying? If it's really real,
Yeah. I
then
mean,
it,
you're coming
you
from
get
sorry, go ahead, finish.
well, you get peace, is what I'm saying. To me, that's what I'm looking for is peace. Yeah,
Let me ask you, I mean, you know, what brought up the medium topic? I mean, obviously peace is the goal and wanting to, you know, say what was left unsaid with loved ones. But I mean, have you ever felt, you know, any sort of either presence or, you know, had a dream that, you know, you felt like you communicated? I mean, or
yeah.
have you just kind of looked at this to the skeptic and maybe just hope that it could happen? I mean, what's your take?
Well, through the years, I've been a skeptic, but I also have been on that, maybe some of this is true if they're genuine. Because I do believe that people can have uh, gifts, very sensitive gifts that are spiritual gifts. And I do feel that this is something that goes beyond the natural realm. So, but you got to trust that person in their gift. Some people scam you with that. But in saying all that, I started watching, um, what was it? It was a couple of years ago when I got on to YouTube. And of course, this is right after I lost my son. And at that time, I was grieving so hard. And the only thing that helped me cope was watching Teresa Caputo give these people peace out of
Wow.
pain. And so that's where it started for me. And I watched almost everything I could of her. And then I ended up finding Tyler Henry. And I really liked him too, because out of this comes peace. It's never a harmful thing. And you can see the relief and the peace that just comes over the people after they've had the reading. And that's what I want to experience. So that would be my answer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. do you feel comfortable? You know, you don't have to give any details, but I mean, you know, what is it that is not allowing you to have peace?
Um,
And you don't have to answer that question. I just, if you
you
feel
know,
comfortable.
gosh, there's so many different things. And I'm very open. This is, my channel is real big on, we talk a lot about mental illness and grief, depression. So I love the question. Um, I think my son was 26 years old, and he had a daughter that was 15 months old. She just turned 5, and he's not here to see that. And I want to know that he's seeing it. I want to know that he knows how much he's missed. Yeah,
I totally understand. I got you.
yeah. And with my mom, gosh, I have so many things with my mom because I had like a mini nervous breakdown when my mom was sick and I was taking care of her, and my sister came and just took her from me. And she ended up passing away in my sister's care. I was not there. I wasn't allowed, or I was at least told not to go to the funeral because of my stepdad. It's a long story.
Yep,
But,
I got you.
I couldn't go. And so, yeah, I don't have peace in that situation, I would feel. So I'd just like to hear from my mom and know that, she's cool.
Yeah, family's not easy. It's I think it's the source, in my opinion, of a lot of people's you know, anguish and, you know, stress and, you know, stuff like what you're talking about now, where, you know, our family is, you know, in my opinion, the people that know us the most in most cases, aside from maybe our significant others. But it's amazing how from that relationship sometimes you can develop such a rift, and so much pain can come from that. You know, even though they're
Yeah.
our family, they're the ones that are closest to us. Um, so you know, I think it stuff like this needs to be talked about. And you know, man, if there is a way to talk to some of the folks that we've lost, especially like in that situation, I can totally imagine how much peace that would bring,
Oh, yeah,
if
definitely.
possible.
Yeah, I think that grief and loss is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about because I've even been told by a really good friend of mine not to bring up the subject of my son's loss because it was so depressing. And
I can see that.
I was, I was stunned. I am not a person that is easily offended, but I will tell you right now that when I was literally talking about my son, she turns and looks at me and says, "Please don't talk about that right now, because you know you're gonna ruin the mood," or something to that effect. And wow, I was just like caught off guard. My son just died. I'm sorry. I want to talk about him.
Yeah,
Some people don't want to talk about anybody, and I understand that too. But you know, um, I just it's 3 years later, and I still talk about my son like he's sitting right here beside me. I just can't stop.
yeah. I mean, I feel like by talking about it, it makes you feel better. I mean, it may not be the most uplifting topic. I mean, like, you know, if there's something nice going on and you talk about losing your son, I'm sure it's not going to be like, you know, the happiest thing to talk about. But I mean, I believe if you weren't talking about it, I think you'd probably be in a worse place.
Right, right.
And people need to understand that. I mean, a lot of this communication of your inner thoughts and getting out what's really bothering you. Avoiding it is not going to help.
Right. And you need to be able to talk to somebody that you can, can be a sounding board for you and not, you know, crush you with their words. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know. And I do feel, I mean, take for instance, if I'm up on someone's panel, say Quick Vic's panel or whatever, and we're talking, that's not going to be the first thing I talk about. There's a lot of people that don't even know my story. But at the same time, take for instance, I was watching a show this morning, um, and her son had passed away, and so she didn't know how to answer the question when someone asked her, "Do you have children?" And I thought to myself, and it hit me, and I mean, as soon as it hit me, I started crying. And I'm not an overly emotional person.
Yeah.
But it hit me because when I get asked that question, I don't know what to say either. What do I say? Yes, I have two boys, but one is, and the only thing I know to say is one is here and one is in heaven.
Yeah.
But that way I don't say I just have one child, because I don't. I have two. So how do you answer that question? But, some people, there's a time to talk about and there's a time not. But I really do like to give people voices here, to where we can open up and talk about these things and cry even if you need to. I mean, you're behind a screen, nobody sees you, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but people, more than, I'd rather be talking about this than Joey and Miko, let's say.
Oh, don't even bring them up, please.
Right.
We're in a good space right now.
I've never even mentioned his name on my channel. So just know that and Quick knows me well enough, Um, yes, Nepatrice, you can share a Bible verse, of course. Um, but yeah, I would definitely go see. I would definitely go see a medium. I've been to a psychic before.
Okay.
And I don't know that you would even call her a psychic, Mr. P, because it was down in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 1995. And she told me all kinds of stuff. I would have another kid. I would have a blue truck next to a house on a lake. And none of that shit has happened. None of it.
Yeah.
So, I do have issues with people trying to tell me the future, stuff like that, because, it's just my belief that only God knows that. We can change our direction at any moment because it's our free will. No one's controlling us. I'm not an AI. I'm real.
Exactly. And I mean, it's a question that, when you talk about a medium or a psychic, if you're, religious or spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
it bears asking, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Honeybee, I remember you came up one time when I think Vinny was kind of going after me a little bit with the
Yes.
right,
Yes.
and I remembered that because the way you handled that situation, to me, I felt like you had a much better understanding of what that walk is like. Going from
Yeah.
not being in that place to eventually getting there.
Yes.
So I've come from a very Catholic background, and then basically left that, and I'm kind of just open-minded at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you start asking these questions about mediums and predicting the future, you start to really question, I think, some of the understanding that we have, of whether you call it heaven or hell, or a spiritual domain or an extra dimension. And you have to start asking yourself, it's like, if this person is in heaven, are they able to communicate in that way when somebody all of a sudden opens that door? I mean, what is that experience like if to go across that domain? Is it possible, right? Or is it
I
something
do feel.
where, yeah, go
hmm
ahead, you can
hmm
answer the question.
I do feel it's possible. I'll tell you why. My
Okay.
beliefs. I mean, I have a certain, I believe in God. I've studied the Bible a lot. I've taught it a lot. Um, I'm a minister. I ministered for many years, and I haven't been in the Word for some years. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a struggle since I lost my son. Not in my belief, not in my faith, but just in my journey. My journey has been hard, and not always do we have an understanding. But I do feel that when Jesus came back, um, when he was resurrected and came back to earth, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he walked through walls and they physically touched him, okay. So, you know, if Jesus could do it, he was just a regular man like me. I mean, he was born from a woman too, so, no difference from me. So yeah, I do feel that we can have encounters with people. I think that because they're not in a natural body and they are in a spirit, which, we are a spirit first. We're a
Mm,
spirit, and then I was put in a body. Because you can't come to live on this earth unless you live in a body,
exactly.
right? So, yeah, so I feel like there's times I think I've, felt the presence of my son. I'll tell you the other day, it was so weird and no lie, my throat. You know how you feel when you go over a really high roller coaster and you go up, 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 and then you're going over, 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 and then you just go down and your throat drops into your stomach.
Oh yeah.
I was sitting doing my diamond art the other day, and of course, my head's down. My right hand is putting beads on the diamond art. I'm going, going, going. And I felt, how you can sense somebody. And I turned my head just slightly, and my son was over my shoulder. And I don't even know how long he had been there, Mr. P, but he was over my shoulder, just sitting there. And when I turned and saw him, it was like my stomach just dropped. I thought it was Paul.
Oh my
That's
God.
and they do look a lot alike, but I jumped back and he looked at me. He was like, "Whoa, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And I was like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I just saw Paul. It was his face, and my stomach just dropped." But so it's almost like little things like that make you think and know, okay, he's here. He's thinking about me and he's here. I just miss him. I miss him so bad. And yeah, we have a lot of, we have several people in our chat that have lost children or lost loved ones, husbands, parents. And so we like to come together and just be here for each other, give each other support. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No. And I've had experiences not only found as that. But few, and we're talking right now. Like, know where
Uh-oh, you're breaking up.
the
You're breaking up.
left state.
You're breaking up, Mr. P. I do too, just me. I do. I'm sorry if I've missed anything in the chat, guys. I will definitely go back and look at it tomorrow when it comes up. You there, Mr. P? Who left? Oh, Daniel, I'm so sorry to hear that, honey. My condolences to you. I lost my mom a couple of years back from lung cancer. So my heart goes out to you, honey. It's never easy. It's never easy. You there, Mr. P? Um, yeah, just me. I feel alone sometimes. I feel like it's just me and my sister, and me and my sister don't talk, and I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I have Larry, and I have my son, and I have my mom, my mother-in-law, but gosh, I miss my mama. I miss my mama. You know. Yeah, that's so true. So true. Oh, we lost Mr. Pete. He was driving, so. Oh, Dagmar, that is the hardest decision, I think. I really do. I'm so sorry. I know that must be so, so difficult. Gosh, I am so sorry, hun. Don't hate yourself for doing it, honey. Sometimes you can only do what you can do. And remember, you have to have a life too outside of this. And it's just the whole situation is unfortunate. And it's not an ideal situation. It's very, very hard, I'm sure. Mm. Yes, definitely. He knows you love him. Yeah, I agree with Gina. Yes, and we love you, Dagmar. I'm way behind, guys. Sorry. Let me catch up. Yes, Gina, they are for sure. Yeah, so I think that I would definitely be interested in meeting, those two. So if anyone wants to write in to Teresa Caputo or, excuse me, Tyler Henry and tell them my story, that would be awesome. Oh, can you imagine? I mean, they would be worn out by the time they got through with so many people that would come through for me, right? At least I hope that many would come through and see me. That would be cool. But anyway, guys. All right. Well, thank God it's Friday. I thank God for all of you beautiful people. The love that God has brought into my life since all of the pain and loss that I felt for so long has been such a humbling experience and an eye-opening experience to show me how much he does care for me and how much he does love me. Um, you know, sometimes we have to look for God being good to us. I think a lot of times God thinks that, people think that God is this being God. Hey, Mr. P. Uh-oh.
All right. Can you hear me?
Okay, you are. Yeah, there you are.
All right. And I don't want to slow your show down if I keep losing service. I just wanted to kind of finish what we were talking about, and
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
let you do your thing. But I'm not sure what you heard, but I know what you mean with what you were saying. I've had that feeling where when you know somebody's in the room, like physically, not spiritually, and you know where they
Right.
are in relation where standing, even though that feeling is like pretty normal for us because we're just used to it. Um,
Right.
and then when you get that same feeling and you're confident that there is somebody right behind you, and then they're not, and then you get that kind of like, oh my God, what is that? Like almost like you're scared, but like, the hair stand up a little bit. I've had that
Yes.
not many times in my life, only very few, but um, in those moments, that's when you start to really, it's like, wow, there's definitely something else out there. There's
Mhm.
more than I
Mhm.
understand, in the
Mhm.
physical realm. So,
Yeah.
and that's what keeps me faithful, and that's what keeps me my mind open and looking for signs and more information, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if there's anything I can do to, I heard you say something about writing Caputo, or if there's any information that you have and there's something I can do, I'm happy to, write a letter and do whatever I can.
oh, that would be great. I was saying it kind of as a joke because, I thought about writing in, but then it's kind of like, gosh, I don't, I don't know. But
You don't know in terms of like you're nervous about it.
I think I hate to ask. I, when I don't know why that is. Why? But to write and ask for it seems, I don't know, selfish maybe. I don't know.
Okay, why does that seem selfish?
And maybe I just don't want to go through the, what do I say? What do I say? I don't want to, you don't want to give too much information, but yet at the same time, you need to tell, you know, I mean, what do you say? Where do you start? I've had a lot of people die and I want to talk to them. I don't know what to say, Mr.
No,
P.
I get it. I get it. I think that's part of like your something you need to go through though. Me
Yeah.
personally, I don't know you like I know somebody, one of my best friends or my wife, but I part of my business is I talk to a lot of people on the phone, and I understand kind of where they're at by just
Mhm.
speaking to them. And
Mhm.
I can tell, that there is a lot of um, the way that you lost people has left a pretty big hole. Uh,
Mhm.
and I think in order for that to be filled and for you to truly get back to where you were before that, I think you're gonna have to go through a little bit of a journey in terms of like looking inside and thinking like, why am I doing this? What are the questions I really want to ask? And just kind of take
Yeah.
the time to kind of really understand that. And if you're nervous about it, if you don't know what to ask, that's a good thing,
Yeah,
because
I agree.
because you're gonna have to go through something like basically if you're comfortable all the time, you're not in a good spot.
Oh, definitely.
So if
Yeah,
you're uncomfortable, you're kind of heading in the right direction. It's the best way I can put
exactly.
it.
Yeah. I'm shaking my head all while you're saying that because I know that you're right. I know that. Because, in just the 3 years that have passed since my son passed, and, before my son passed, my mom passed, what, 15 to 18 months before him. And so, uh, there is such a big hole there. It's so big. And I was down for a long time. Um, and you'd have to, kind of hear my story, which I talk about it a lot. But, for a long time, Mr. P, I was in the bed depressed. I had no life. I was not interested in life. I wasn't participating in life. And then I found YouTube, and I didn't even know nothing about live chats or nothing like that. I just started watching YouTube videos, and it brought an escape for me. And also, I was learning things at the same time. And then it moved into live chats, and then it moved into this. And so here I am.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be in the bed, and now I'm up doing things, participating in life, and having live chats on YouTube. So that journey in going through that, I can look back now and see, how far I've grown, but there's still that ache, and and whether or not that can be filled, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't answer that. You know, how do you feel up a person? A whole person. That was my child, my mother, your father. And see, my dad just died April 13th.
Wow. This April 13th? The
Yep,
past one?
yes.
Oh man.
I was doing a live when I got the
Oh.
text that he was gone.
Had he been sick or just,
He
you
had
know?
been sick. He had been sick, and we were expecting it, but I wasn't expecting him to be live. But it was a
Right.
good thing that I was live because my YouTube family, my community was here with me, and they lifted me up and supported me, and just came in and swooped me up. And it's, I can truly say that this time with my dad's death, I didn't truly lose it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I've held it together pretty well. I've held it together because I probably should be in a psych institution somewhere.
Well, I think that's a little extreme, but
Thanks, Mr. P.
maybe a couple
You
mental
just don't
meds,
know.
but
You just don't know, Mr. P. No, I'm picking. Oh shit. But no, I mean, my mom spent some time in a psych institution. She woke up one day and just couldn't speak anymore. She had a nervous breakdown.
yeah, no, I understand. But see, like this is what I find is hilarious about the way folks view YouTube sometimes. It's like some folks are just use it with anonymity and they just use it to kind of like I don't know maybe get out some anger or just maybe they feel good about putting people down or maybe they
Mm.
just want to be friends with people or be in a community. But I keep hearing the same thing, and it's like YouTube isn't real life. It isn't real life.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. And it just aggravates me when I hear that because it's like you're dismissing probably one of the most vital parts of YouTube, which is the fact that you're communicating with people
Yeah.
uh, in a way where you can really actually hear them, and you're not being distracted by, oh, do I look okay? Am
Yes.
I wearing that watch that makes people think that I have money? Am I driving my nice
Yes.
car? You're just communicating with people on a one-on-one, soul to
Hmm.
soul basis. And that's the most real life thing I've experienced, and one of the reasons why I've been doing it a lot more. I love it. I
I
feel like I'm
know.
able to
Yeah.
meet way more people this way than in quote unquote real life.
Oh yeah, definitely for me too.
So,
Definitely.
but I'm glad that you've been able to kind of go through that journey and then, going through it again with your YouTube family. You were able to kind of see the difference in how things went when you had the support of others so readily available to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is why I press the situation of a no drama. This is a drama free place to come and hang out and be safe. and you don't have to worry about being dragged through the mud or talked about. I don't do that. I'll leave that to everybody else. But my place is going to be about, let's talk about and get down to the nitty gritty. This is going to be some serious conversation. Some people aren't going to be able to handle it, and that's okay. But somebody needs it. I needed it, you know. So let's be there for each other. Why get on YouTube and be someone on YouTube known for bad things? I just don't. I don't understand that, but that's just me. I'm just not that person, you know.
No, and I'm not either. But don't be surprised if you do make waves and you do talk about things that
Oh
are
yeah.
either controversial or that not everybody agrees with. That
Oh yeah.
you will be the subject. At
Well, just
someone's
like
dinner table.
yeah, just like Vinny didn't agree with me, that night, or maybe he did, asking me. And my perception of that is because of the question he asked, which was, would you rub elbows with him if he was sitting out there worshiping a rock?
I didn't actually see that, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. But
That was the night Vinny was talking to you on Quick Vic's channel.
oh, Vinny, yeah, absolutely.
And
I
yeah,
actually thought he said the devil. I thought
you
I
know,
heard that wrong.
no, he said, would you be caught rubbing elbows with him if he was worshiping a rock? And I said yes, and remember, he got upset. How can you say that, honeybees? Even your own people will come against you sometimes.
Absolutely.
And
Even if
that's
they
what
say
I
that
was.
they have the same faith as you too, and they believe the same things as you.
Well, and that was the problem. A lot of people don't realize that that's what the whole Bible is about. That's why I try to break down. That's why I was quoting scripture to Vinny and trying to make him realize that you standing in judgment of someone is not going to persuade them to believe in your God, because they don't want nothing to do with your God if you're going to act like that. I
I
mean,
agree.
I wouldn't. I always, first of all, I don't ever come into a situation and automatically think you're not saved. No one should ever come into a situation and think just because of the way someone looks that they're saved or not saved or whatever their belief. You see what I'm saying? No, you should never do that. That's just judging.
100%. 100%.
Even if it's for a person that doesn't believe in God, for you to walk into it just because someone does believe in God and you don't like it, that's not a reason for you to be against them. But it happens. It happens. It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
It does. It does.
I just don't like to offend anybody. Hey, Kaisa. Hey, Grumpy Drunk.
Well,
I'm
Grumpy
just
don't
not
care.
I will confront people, and I do confront people if I need to. You can ask Quick Vic that. I have no problem standing my ground and taking up for myself. I really don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks.
Good.
But at the same time, I am not. Jesus came and he walked around, and it was the church people who called him the sinner and not the Son of Man. It was the church people who hung him on the cross. It was not the sinners. So he rubbed elbows with the people that were worshiping idols and rocks. And that's what I was trying to convey to Vinny.
Yeah, that's a really amazing perspective. It's part of the reason why I have so much trouble with religion, so to speak. And so I have a issue with differences of Muslim, born again Christian, Catholic, just the differences. It's like I feel like we all have so much more of the same idea, but we just put our beliefs as walls up to make us different. When in fact we're really kind of almost saying the same thing, and we all believe very similar things.
Yes. Yeah. See, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. You could call it a born again believer. I say I'm spirit filled, with the evidence of speaking in tongues. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. This is my first time ever saying it on a live, but
We're getting into some stuff now.
This is who I am. But yet, I don't have a religion that I believe in. I am not going to constrict my father into a building or a church building where I have to meet up with him only on Sundays. My father, I can contact at any time of the day. I have a relationship with him. We are in talk together. I talk to God like I text my best friend. Some people may not do that, but I carry on conversations, and sometimes I get my answers, sometimes I don't. I don't know. I have a different perception on spirituality than a lot of even Christian people do. Even Christian people have come against me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're not going to stop me from believing what I believe. I believe God is a good God. He doesn't hurt and kill people. He doesn't do something to somebody to teach them a lesson. Oh, you went through that, or they did this because, you need to be taught a lesson. No. You can learn that on your own. No, God
Right.
I just don't believe that. But a lot of religious Christians do believe that.
Yeah.
They do believe that your conduct is your behavior and that is your sin. And so you are punished for your sin. And that's just not what I believe.
Yeah.
But I usually don't talk about politics or religion. But I
Which
feel
I find hilarious, by the way.
It is hilarious because I feel like, this is kind of like how we met. I've been rocking with Vic for over a year, and I used to be really into his chats, and then I stepped back for a little bit, and I've been doing some stuff here on the homestead. And then you came in, and I showed back up, and Mr. P was there. I'm like, who's this Mr. P? And then Samantha P, and everybody's in. I was like, okay, cool. But then when I heard that going on that night, I had to come up. I'm not a confrontational person, but the way that went down that night really fucking bothered me. Really bothered me. Yeah. I'm not usually bothered by a lot, but it bothered me. So I had to make the phone call in.
I was so happy you did, by the way, because it didn't seem like anybody else really wanted to say anything, and
yeah,
it meant a lot to me.
Well, you're welcome, and anytime. And I would hope somebody would do that for me. And I just feel, and me and Benny are cool.
Yeah, we're cool too, but sometimes things happen.
Yeah. Everybody gets a little heated, and I just think that I've always been a referee in my household, so I'm good at refereeing things. I had the husband and the two sons, and I was the only woman in the household, so I was the referee. I had to hold the shit down.
Yeah, as the moms usually do.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Even if it seems like the father does, the mom's usually holding it down.
That's right. That's right.
But no,
so where are you from?
I'm glad
where
that you that you came up, because I wouldn't have met you otherwise, I think, as I did. And I'm glad that I'm subscribed, and I'll definitely be meeting you and going up to your
Yeah,
house. Sounds
yeah, and
good.
to be thank you for coming up because usually I'm gonna be honest, I'm a single person panel, but
Yep.
I don't know. There's some connection there, and then when you said drop the link, I want to talk about the medium thing, so I was like, you know what, that'll be good. So
Yeah.
yeah, anytime, Mr. P,
Yeah.
anytime.
I'm sorry, you were asking me a question?
Yeah, I was asking where are you from? Do you live?
Oh, I'm in Connecticut.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
origi-
okay.
I'm originally from Massachusetts, north of Boston.
Oh,
Yeah, like Peabody, Beverly, Salem area. I don't know if you've ever
okay.
heard of that, but
No,
it's like right near where, like, if you look at Massachusetts and you have the kind of like, the Cape Cod hand part, and then it's like then there's a top part that almost hits like New Hampshire and Maine. I'm from that North
right.
Shore, northeast part. Uh,
Oh, wow.
originally,
Oh, I
yeah,
bet it's beautiful up
and
there.
oh my gosh, my mother still lives there, and my sister.
Yeah.
And then I met Samantha P in my travels in Connecticut, and then she traveled with me across the country, different places, about 15 years ago, and then
Yeah.
we've been together ever since. And then we came back to Connecticut, and we now live in the New Haven area of Connecticut.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
my husband and I have been together for um since 1995, but we were married in 1999. So almost 30 years. And raised two
Wow.
boys. I've got a son that's 33 now. I've got four grandchildren, and I'm in hot ass North Louisiana, the north part, not south,
Yep.
not the ones.
Oh, I don't know how you do it. How you do it? It's warm there.
Oh yes, it is. It's not just warm, honey. It's oh my
Humid.
god, it's sticky hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But
something
it's
about the humidity in Louisiana. You walk outside and you literally take a breath and it feels like you have a filter because it feels like the air is so thick. Oh, it's terrible.
yeah. What made you
Um,
live down there? Have you just been from there and you just never left, or?
I'm from here. I was born and raised here. I have left. I've lived in Houston for a couple of years. I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas for a couple of years. I lived in Meridian, Mississippi for about a summer. I lived in Dallas, Texas, and then back here. And then I've just always come back home. And my husband, he was a Navy brat. He was born in Virginia and then ended up in going to California and then Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then in high school, he moved from Chattanooga, Tennessee to here because my mother-in-law, was a district manager of H&R Block, which is a tax service.
Mm-hmm.
And they've lived here ever since. And he stayed here. He hated it here, but now still hates it, but we love the land.
Yeah.
He's a city boy turned country boy.
Yeah.
He,
That's not an easy
yeah,
conversion.
we've got about almost 100 chickens. We've got a big, big garden.
Woo.
Um, he works and owns his own business, and then of course I do YouTube and film. Try to capture all that as much as I can.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, Atlanta girl. Hey, baby. Hey, Nepatrish. Hey, Kaisa.
Well, we're Samantha and I are kind of like, we were really not. I don't know. I think we were kind of nervous about doing our own thing on a channel and whatever, because we hold a lot of, like, either controversial opinions or I don't know if it's controversial, but we have very, like, specific beliefs. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. And we love to talk about it. It's not that when somebody has a different opinion, we're not like upset with it. If anything, I love the conversation back and forth, because it's like you said, like you don't want to talk about politics and religion. Well, a lot of people don't, and they're afraid to. And one of our beliefs is that you need the conversation constantly from both sides to get that, kind of bring that rift that's forming in the country, back together. So we're trying to look. Are we going to change the world? I don't think we are going to change the world, but we would love to have more of these kind of conversations that a lot of folks don't want to have. And that's kind of what we started doing a little bit. And
I think that's
if any time you see that we go live, if you want to come up and throw your opinion down, we would love to have you.
awesome. I will definitely do that. Definitely. You know, what started that night was the talk of silver and ammo.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason I'm not, I sat for, I don't know, 20 minutes doing diamond art, listening to y'all, to him talk to you about silver, and y'all go back and forth, okay?
Yeah.
And when the ammo got brought up, because we are, a big gun believers. I live in Louisiana. This is the sportsman's paradise. I mean, everybody's got a gun, or at least you need to expect that. And
100%.
we buy ammo. And so, does that mean I'm going to snipe people? No, 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 no. You can't say that. I mean, you can, but it's not the truth.
Exactly.
And that was the problem, I was really having, is that no, 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 not happening. I got to go up this shit. And then it got into talking about the other, because, I get, Vinny didn't know I'm a prepper. We live on a homestead. I've got chickens that produce eggs. I've got a garden that produces food. I got food that comes in that I have to can in a canner that I put on shelves. I prep.
Yeah. But prepping is not a bad thing. Like even the label of a prepper, I think is
Yeah,
unnecessary.
I think so too. I think so too.
It's just it's just that's how you do things. You store stuff because it comes in quickly and you need to use it slowly. So you are accustomed to putting things away until it's needed, and it's actually kind of an art form, because you can't just throw stuff and save it. Like you have to do it a certain way. You have to, it's an art form to some extent. You have to have knowledge of what you're doing. Otherwise, what you're putting away won't be usable by the time you need it.
Right.
So not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you think the world's going to end either.
No. I am trying to come in on my phone. Hold on just a second. Let me see something.
You're okay.
That's a whole nother person. Uh-oh. Sorry. No.
Oh,
What the
that
hell?
hurt.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Why is it doing this?
Oh, because you have two things with a speaker. So one of the, and if you're wearing Bluetooth, sometimes it won't, or no, if you're in StreamYard, it won't let you go completely silent. So it'll catch that little reverb and then it keeps echoing. We've been through it. So one of your devices picks up the sound, and then the other one hears it and projects it, and then it becomes what we just experienced.
Yeah, that crazy ass noise. Okay.
Yes.
So you said that you work from home, but you're driving a long way. So where are you going?
Well, no, I do. I'm actually just self-employed, so I
Okay.
do insurance, mostly working from home, and then occasionally I will do some ride sharing if the price is right. So like if I get like an airport drive or a long, I'll like do those, which is why I was
Mhm.
driving.
Okay.
Um, I just like to stay busy and just earn as much as I can without having to work for, you know, a corporation or, you know, some, a boss or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm independent in that sense.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um,
My husband's the same way.
yeah.
Yeah. He
So,
does
but recently I've
security
been doing security.
security cameras
Like,
in home.
nice, nice.
Hmm.
Love that.
Um,
It's a good business, actually.
yeah. 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 With the economy though, it's been kind of sucky. People
Well,
just
same thing
don't
with
want
insurance.
the good thing is that people that have money want to spend money to protect what they have.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah. But it
and
is it is tough though. When you have less disposable income, no matter what your business is, you're gonna feel it.
yeah, for sure, man. For sure. We've been through it. Let me come in on my phone. Hold on just a second.
Yeah. Give me 30 seconds as well.
Okay. Whew. Megan said that's a good rap. Which one, huh? Which one? What do you mean, me?
Oh, should be coming through now. Okay. Can you hear me?
Uh, yeah,
Okay. You run StreamYard through your computer, or how do you do it?
both. Both.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing it through a tablet and a phone, and it's basically like using two phones. It's
Yeah.
just you got a big
Mhm.
phone and a small phone. So um, I haven't had a computer in a while because I just do everything from my tablet. But I was thinking I might need to get a little computer because you just have zero functionality when it comes to like presenting media, and you know
Yeah.
you're limited to the size of the file of StreamYard, and so your media doesn't come out in good quality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so it's kind of like it's been an interesting journey in how like you realize how much people, content creators go through, especially on lives, um, in order to present a good product, which is people appreciate a good quality audio, good video, and if you want to, provide that same quality, you need to kind of step it up a little bit. But man, I have such an appreciation for how folks do it after kind of seeing how it works from the inside.
Right, right. It's not easy. A lot of people think that it's easy, but and for me, I can't. You can ask all my peeps here. I mean, they'll tell you that you know I try to come on through the week, Tuesday through Saturday, because my mom is off Sunday and Monday, and we do things around the house and everything on those 2 days. And so I'll just take off also. And that way, it's just good to take a break. Just take a break. You don't have to be on YouTube for 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's what you want to do and you have time to do that, then fine. But when it becomes to where it's interfering with, and I'm not going to lie, I have an issue with YouTube too. I mean, there's times my husband will be like, hey, I'm right here. Because YouTube takes me to another place. It's like reading a book. That's my rooster, Mr. P. That's one of my roosters. His name is Sneaky. You there, Mr. P?
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I was yeah, I can hear you now. I thought I was like, where'd he go?
No, I was saying, I wonder why his name is Sneaky. He probably earned that name.
Well, because he is fucking sneaky. Let me. I don't know if you can see. Are you driving still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just about home, but you can throw it on. I had the phone mounted.
Okay, let me see.
Wow, he is loud.
He's just gonna go hump the bag. Look, he's humping the bag.
Jeez.
He's okay. That was a quickie, buddy. That was a quickie. You good now? Are you good? All right. See, I have to put this fence up, this baby gate, to keep him out.
Yeah.
Because he'll come in here and he'll destroy every plant that I've got in here.
Is that how roosters are? Are they typically that like crazy and violent?
He's actually not violent. He's really one of the good ones. He follows my husband and I. Like if I walk outside right now, he will follow me around like a dog. He literally will come and sit on my foot. He wants to be next to me. So, we call him Sneaky because like the other day he snuck into the garden. The door was open and he got into the garden and we had to get him out. But he's one of the crazy. He's got a personality, and he's like, look what he's doing now, sitting down with his face all the way into and his tail's up. They do weird shit.
Yeah, I see that.
He's purring like a cat right now. He's purring like a cat.
Oh, look at all that land. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful spot. That is so funny.
Oh, this is my life. This is my life.
Yeah, you can tell you get joy from having all your animals. My wife's similar. She's got like, she got all her things that she takes care of and a few cats, and it's like they all just they surround her and just like
Yeah.
She's the mom, you know, and
Oh
I can
yeah.
tell you're very similar.
Now, Larry, when I go out to the garden, which the chickens are out in the barn and to the back, which is where our garden is. So I'm up front in the front of the house right now. So Sneaky has actually come all the way around to the front just so he can be up here with me.
Mm,
None of the other roosters do that.
wow.
All the other roosters stay around to the back, or if they come up here, they're all like they'll be together, not just him like he's by himself. Um, but you can go back there, and we have one rooster, only one that I've ever had run up on me and attack me, and it hurt like a motherfucker. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
It hurts,
man.
but I told Larry he'll be the first one in the damn pot. I'll cook his ass up. We'll have some
Well,
chicken and dumplings.
oh man.
We are going to buy some meat birds, though. We want to buy some meat birds. That way, we can dispatch them ourselves and have our own fresh meat birds.
Now, meat birds meaning that you're going to eat them, right?
Yeah, a whole hen, a whole chicken.
Right. So, because I've always been curious about this, because I know, roosters, you can have, hens that are laying eggs, right? And then obviously they're not
Right,
fertilized. The rooster
right,
gets them fertilized. Now you have chicks.
right.
But like for somebody like me that loves, I don't know, 1 to 2 chickens a week. I mean, we go through at least 1 chicken a week.
Oh yeah,
How
yeah.
would you sustain that? I mean, what kind of numbers would you need to keep everything going and then still, provide, food and all that stuff? I've always been curious about that.
Exactly. Well, I don't personally have a count because we haven't done it yet. Um, Even though we have bought, like, take for instance, bulk chicken,
Hmm.
um, and paid for it like that. Now, I do
Hmm.
watch a lady that is in Ohio. She is Three Rivers Homestead, and um, I want to say they do meat birds every 3 to 6 months, and I would say they probably do two per week, and
Now,
that's
what
a
do you
big
mean?
family.
Why are you saying meat birds? Like you're.
Well, because when you can order eggs and chickens off of online. Okay, like we
You
have.
went silent there, honeybee.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can order eggs offline, so you can order specific. Take for instance, we have laughing rooster with a laughing hen.
Hmm.
A laughing rooster is a totally different breed than uh, just what you would call a regular red rooster. The laughing rooster has these different. It almost looks like a calico cat with the coloring, and it's
Hmm.
smaller in stature, and it also laughs whenever he crows. He'll go to
Really?
crow, and it'll end up like he's laughing, and it is the
Really?
most hilarious shit. So we have a laughing rooster. We have one laughing rooster that survived, and two laughing hens. So now we could put those three together and take those eggs and have a breed of laughing roosters. That's your whole goal is for while we do the breeding. Now meat birds are just the little meat birds that you order to you're going to dispatch them. They're only going to grow long enough for you to dispatch them. And they just usually tend to call them meat birds. So that's just why I say it.
No, and that makes sense, and I had a feeling that was the case. But I guess what I was asking is if you're eating your birds like that, or you're having your chickens, it's I guess it's something like you have your rooster and hens because you're producing eggs. I'm assuming.
Right. Right.
Right. So you're not
Right.
eating those because those are your egg layers and all that stuff.
Right.
But is it so? I guess it's a completely different thing to try to produce your own food. It's like a whole nother operation essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, this is what we could do too is we could, just like this season, two, Larry took 17 eggs and 13 of them produced a chick. So we got 13 new chicks and they're about 4 months old now. So if we would have wanted to, you know, dispatch them and put them in the freezer, it would have had to been before 8 weeks because you only let them grow a certain amount of time. That's what a meat bird is for. The other ones,
Got it. Okay.
they're going to grow to produce eggs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. So you're classifying them differently because you don't keep them.
And my husband has a love for the chicken,
Yeah.
and he hasn't dispatched one yet. It's something that we have read up on. We have looked up on YouTube. We've studied it. We know how to do it. It's just we haven't done it yet. It's a whole process. You got to be very sanitary about it. There's a whole process of killing the chicken. Yeah, you can go out and just wring its neck, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
So,
So that's just funny
and
because you've raised like chickens and you haven't eaten one yet. It's like kind of
yeah,
fascinating to me.
yeah, no, we haven't eaten any. And none of them, the ones that have been taken out are the ones that have been, taken out by a predator. A raccoon, a possum, or I ran off a fox out here one day.
Oh, I bet.
Uh, so I mean, I'm sitting on almost 9 acres. Hey, Tommy. So, but yeah, now the difference between now, take for instance, if I was to take and say, oh, I'm putting Sneaky in the pot, which I would never do. I would
Snaky in the
never
pot.
do that to Sneaky. I would never put him in a pot and eat him. I could never,
Gotcha.
if I'm going to name an animal, I'm not going to eat him. That's just how I feel.
See, that's kind of like that's I think the inherent problem, right? You want your meat
Yeah,
birds to be anonymous meat birds, and then
exactly.
you want your
Yeah,
individuals to be with you as long as they can.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but
it's funny. Just I'm not laughing at you. Just because you have the ability clearly to produce your own meat and chickens. You know,
right, right.
but you haven't done it yet, and it's more or less just because you just don't want to go through that process. But
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think that it's something that, you have it in your mind and you want to do it, but coming to doing it is the problem, I think, for my husband. And he
Yeah,
just doesn't say it.
yeah. What about you? What about you?
I wouldn't have a problem killing them.
Okay.
I just wouldn't.
Okay.
I guess because I've cut up so much chicken to feed my family, uh, give me give me the meat and I'll clean that shit up and I'll put it in the pot. But I was raised watching my daddy skin and you know deer and chicken. I mean not chicken but squirrels. Stuff like that. So fish. I could dress out a fish. I mean there's certain things I could do. I'm sure I could figure out how to dress out a chicken if I needed to.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it'd be a good. I mean, I don't know. Do they give like? Do they have like a place you can go? You can get lessons on that kind of thing, or you just is that a YouTube thing or?
Actually, I've seen if you go look up dispatching chickens,
Yeah.
just go look it up, and you will see some homesteaders come up.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is I want to say Alaskan Prepper. I've got them. They got a long name, so it's hard for me to remember them. But her and her husband dispatched some roosters and some chickens, and they ended up taking that rooster and pressure canning it to where they could make can up some broth They ate the meat too, but they ended up canning up chicken broth and having that on the shelf, which is good to have. I mean, I use chicken broth all the time.
Yeah, I'm home. My wife's listening to you. Have you met Samantha P, or have you seen her around?
I've seen her in the chat. Yeah, I've seen her in Quick Vic's chat. I've seen her
Yeah,
on panel.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's listening to you, and I know
Okay. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
she's probably you guys are kind of similar to us, where I think my wife would probably kill an animal and know what to do with it more, and I would probably be like your husband and not want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I call him the chicken whisperer.
Yeah.
You know, he's the chicken whisperer. He's the one that comes in and says, "Hey, we need some Lotrimin because one of the chickens has a fungal situation, and we need to get the medicine on it."
Yeah.
You know, this is, I mean, he's been through so much. I mean, he's had chickens for 10 years now, so I've seen him go through a lot of stuff with his chickens. But Sneaky, he's one of our oldest roosters. He's like 3 years old, 4 years old. And about 4, because Paul's been gone for 3. Yeah, so he's about 4 years old.
4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like what? So what is a rooster? What's the normal lifespan for a rooster? Like 5, 6 years?
Oh,
Longer than that?
I really don't know, Mr. P.
Okay.
I really don't know. We haven't had to experience that. I mean, and what's, because we have several roosters that we have named. Like some of them we don't,
Mm-hmm.
but some of them we do, like Sneaky. And then we have one rooster. His name is Funny Feet because his feet, when he was born, they were all gnarled up and kind of deformed,
Mm-hmm.
but he can still walk. And he made it through. I mean, he fought to be here. So
Wow.
his name is Funny Feet.
Okay.
And then we have Slick, and then we have Dave. And I named him Dave because he reminded me of my brother. My brother was redheaded. His name was Dave. So there's just, yeah, we have some of them named.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Wait,
And you can tell them apart too.
do you
You can
know?
tell them apart.
Have you met is Honeybees?
Yeah.
What was your other channel?
Mhm.
It was Honeybees, and what was the other one?
I was under that Flower Girl.
Flower Girl. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Hard
Yeah.
to keep track of all these names. A lot of times I think I'm talking to different people and they end up being the same person.
Yeah.
Flower Girl and Honeybees. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. I only did that so I could have a personal, instead of using my Honeybees channel to go into people's rooms, I used, I just wanted to be like individual Melissa,
Yeah, I got you.
not connected to the Honeybees, because a lot of people don't, they're like, if you don't like drama, why are you over here? It's like, I don't like drama neither, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go not support my friend.
Yeah.
And it's not that I support the drama. I'm not dealing with the drama,
Yeah.
But I'm there to listen. I'm a mod.
Yeah.
You can ask Quick Vic. I mean, you never know when I'm in the bushes. I'll snipe an ass real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. It's been a learning experience in how you not only conduct yourself on YouTube, but like, some of the stuff you have to like keep an eye out. Like I'm a pretty open person, so I'll say, hey, this is where I'm from, this is what I do, blah blah blah, and it's almost like you gotta like almost not do that, I think, to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, you gotta just be prepared for the stuff that can happen if you do that. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's just weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
know how to
Tabar.
myself and and then also operate that way on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Well, and see, I say that all the time. People say this in real life. Well, it is real life for me, and this is how I operate in my real life.
Right.
I don't go around talking behind people's back in real life and talking shit about people, so I'm not going to do it on YouTube.
Right.
I mean, that's just not my personality, and there are some people made for that shit. They just love it. They just eat it up, and I might sit and listen or whatever, but I'm just not going to participate in it.
Right.
Unless, take for instance that night I just felt like, no, just because, I do this doesn't mean it's, that's the way I was, taking it.
Yeah.
But
So this is Honeybee was the one. I don't know if you were there, babe, when Vinny was kind of like really going about stuff like. Remember that? Yeah. So Honeybee was the one telling you about came up and was like, she basically was.
I remember
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay. So just so you know, but she had a panel today, and I was on the way home, jumped up, and we've just been talking. But she's on her drive to her. Listen real quick, but no, I just wanted to give her a little thing, but yeah, no, it's
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like for example, I was on Nanners. Do you watch Ham Banana?
No, I've never really. He just never clicked with me. So I mean, I'm subscribed to him. I
Okay.
think, but I just haven't went in there.
Yeah.
I've been on a murder kick lately. Okay.
Okay.
I get on
Do
these.
tell.
I get on these little tangents where
Yeah.
I'll watch a lot of one thing, like murder investigation, like crime scene, all kind, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotcha.
like a 48-hour type detective type shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what I've been into lately.
I a lot of the ladies like the murder mystery and all that stuff. It's almost like how do I say it? It's like it's almost like something you want to watch so you learn about things that can happen.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you. I've done listened to so much this week that me and mom were sitting there the other day, and I'm doing my diamond art, and I'm listening to this case, and she's listening, and the woman literally said ninjas came in and took them. And I thought I had heard it all, Mr. P. But me and mom looked up and we just started laughing at each other and thought, where in the hell's she at? Ninjas just popped in. But so, you hear all kinds of stuff. YouTube is crazy. But I love it. At the same time, I love it. I can learn all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I my wife left real quick, and my phone connected to the car. I heard ninjas literally came in and took them, and I was asking, are you using the substitute word ninja, or are you saying actual ninjas?
No, the lady meant actual ninjas. She was trying to blame the crime on actual ninjas.
on ninjas. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I laughed so hard over that. I thought, my God, I've heard it all now. Jeez.
Yeah.
Ninjas. But
Jeez.
yeah,
That's fun.
YouTube's crazy. I just really try to stay away from any drama. I like to learn stuff. Take for instance, a year ago, last summer, before about springtime, I started teaching myself and learning and watching every video I could find on how to can food. I bought a water bath canner, I bought a pressure canner, and I bought all the jars, all the tools that you need, and I watched every video, and I started canning my own food because I wanted to prepare for the likelihood that this government shuts down. I will have food to feed my family. I might not have electricity. I might not have a phone, but I will have food for a period of time, And so for me, in my mindset, that is, what I'm here to do is to provide for my family. And if you, think of it otherwise, then that's on you. That's okay. You don't have to prep. I mean,
That's awesome.
I go and buy a huge jar of mayonnaise. That way I can use that mayonnaise for weeks to come. That's prepping.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I
Anyway,
think
yeah.
that's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not weird to, and this was actually something we've started to cover a little bit, in terms of like, we're not thinking that the world is coming to an end, but there's so much that's happening that it wouldn't be insane, for something to happen where our food supply was interrupted, or monetary supply, or our monetary system was either destroyed or completely upended, or and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you keep going like normal, and you just keep going up, about your everyday life. Like, that could be a major situation. That could be something we handle correctly. You don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
why not know how to prepare in that situation? Why not be prepared for something? Like, even if, like, let's say something out of, like, not even to do with our everyday lives or government. Let's just say something happened where, I don't know, this is kind of crazy, but like, we have an asteroid or something, not that would absolutely destroy us, but that did a lot of damage in the local area. It
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
out of the area, or a major explosion or something. And when you're good at being able to prepare for these situations, you're not one of those people that only got enough for the next day or so, and then you need to live for a week without 2 weeks without getting to a store, and you're kind of screwed, because
Exactly.
guess what? They're going to be coming to you. 'Cause,
And
you're
that's why, per se, in my opinion, I need a gun. Allegedly.
the
I mean, you know, I've got butter sitting in jars that can last up to 5 years.
wow.
I've got meat that can last, they say 18 months, but you know as well as I do, it'll
That's,
last longer than that.
yeah.
So I've got a whole room that's dedicated to a pantry.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that it's outfitted exactly like a store, but that's exactly how I have it set up.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Anytime I go get something off the shelf, I write it down on the board and we purchase it and it gets put back into the pantry.
That's awesome. So
This is how,
you have to be
yeah, yeah. Huh?
You have to be extremely organized.
Yes. Yes, you do. And which means I need to get my ass in there and do a little bit of organization before the harvest comes in.
Yeah. Exactly. It's that's why I was saying is it's like it's definitely an art form and something that you have to I don't think you can just do, you just look up and this is how you do it, and you just do it. Like, you're gonna can your first stuff, you're gonna store your first meat, and things are gonna go
Hmm.
wrong, you know.
Yeah,
And,
things happen. Things happen.
yeah.
And I mean, it can be a dangerous process. Water bath canning, making jellies, that's easy. Water bath canning is just water bath canning.
Right.
You put it in, you boil it for 10, 15 minutes, whatever the processing time is. You take it out, boom, it's done. Put it on the shelf, it's there. But pressure canning, it's a lot more scientific things that go into it, like pressure and
Mm,
heat. And maintaining that pressure point for a certain amount of time for that. Take for instance, a quart size jar for meat is going to go for 90 minutes. And for, potatoes, because potatoes would be considered like a meat, it goes for 90 minutes too. So I've got canned potatoes, I've got canned green beans, I've got canned meat, I've got canned fish. I've pretty much canned anything you can can. I've canned it.
well, it's great. I mean, I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
we don't have a ton of space for it, so
Mm-hmm.
not like something I could like your area. I'm sure like you have a lot of land, you have probably a lot of space you can build storage places or stuff in your house. Like we don't
Yeah.
have, we're living in an area where the rent is high.
Right.
You know what I mean? You only have so much space, but even
Right.
bit that we do, it's like it's the goal is to whatever we can harvest from our little garden and store
Mm-hmm.
like that. Samantha is amazing about that stuff, but I'd love to see how like some of the stuff that you talk about. Do you ever put that stuff on? You ever have like an episode, or you ever like put that stuff on you as far as like how you?
Yeah, yeah. I've got a playlist on my channel that has honeybees canning,
Oh, cool.
and everything that I've canned on video is on there. And then I have, if you go through my lives, I've got a playlist for. So I think I've got 45 lives on my playlists that I've put on there, and some of them in there, like one of them, I did a pickled eggs. And I've done some different stuff like potted meat. I did showing people how to use potted meat, how to cook spam, just little shit like that to show people that, you can take a can of this and make this and you can eat. Like my brother would say, that'll make a turd. So, anything that'll fill your belly. I'd love, and I'm going to do uh, pretty soon, next time I make biscuits. I've got a biscuit recipe that I want to share with everybody. So, yeah, I've got some videos in my playlist.
Yeah, no, we'll check them out. I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, I've canned, on my playlist, I've canned chili, Jimmy Dean sausage, butter, pink grapefruit. I mean, what's that? No, it's not grapefruit. Pink pineapple.
Mm.
Uh, that was a really good one. Oh my God.
I don't think I've
That
ever seen pink pineapple.
Larry, my husband saw it. It was $9, $8.99 for that pineapple. Yeah, pineapple. And he brought it home, and they had cut the top off of it because it was uh, one of those that they don't want you to reproduce. And but yeah, that was my first time ever seeing a pink pineapple. And
Wow.
so yeah, I've got a video of it. My husband is on there, and he cores it with the pineapple cutter thing that we've got, and I cook it down, and then I put it in jars and I water bath it. So yeah, that's all on there.
That's
I've
awesome.
got more content coming. I just here since I've been like going through the winter and spring, and I've been in a kind of a down space right now with depression and things like that have been going on. So different medicine changes and um yeah.
I mean, I find it surprising. Not, I mean, I get you have a lot of loss recently, and I know that obviously that's going to affect you, but I do find it surprising that somebody that has so much to do in terms of like taking care of the animals and all the stuff that you do with storing and maintaining, and that you get down like that. I mean, obviously we all get depressed. Obviously we do have our times when we we're not ourselves. I mean, I went through it a
Mhm.
couple weeks ago where I just didn't feel right. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And you sleep a little bit longer or whatever.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
get that when you're going through it. But it surprises me with you in particular, one, because when I talk to you, you seem like genuinely pretty like happy and outgoing, and like you have a good outlook on life, and you have a good hold on your spirituality, and you're being busy with everything you do. It still surprises me that you talk of these like moments of it's almost like severe depression in the way that you describe it.
Mhm. Yeah, and they can be pretty low. It hasn't been as low as what it was in the past years. Um, I'm I'm on good medicine. I'm thinking that I need another one, which they just tried to do and it didn't work.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so we'll probably try a new one. But I still, even, and you're right, even with everything, because I don't know, I try to be happy. I try to wake up with the sense of, Paul, my mom, or anybody else would not want me to waste the time that have here, being so sad to where I can't function in my everyday life. And, when you said earlier, you said, what would bring you, peace? What made you start reaching out for the medium? Did you have a presence or whatever? And I remember at one point of presence, I felt like a presence, like walk into my room of my son
Right.
and smile at me. And from that, I took he was okay and I'm going to be okay too. And just the look that I got, how you can read somebody with a look and you
Oh,
take in more than what, and so I took in all this stuff, and one of it being, Mom, I need you to get up.
yeah.
I need you to get up. And so I get up, but I still have days where I just want to isolate. And so therefore I do. And I just get into doing my diamond art or something like that, and I just do my own thing. And then I have to make myself say, okay, we're doing a live today. You gotta, you gotta pump yourself up. You're doing a live today. You know, you
Purpose.
gotta, you gotta be in the mood too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's hard to go on and do a live whenever you're not particularly in the mood to talk to anybody, you know. But it brings me so much comfort and joy when I do it.
Yeah. Same.
So it's that catch 22 in the depression. You want to isolate, but then also you feel the comfort of being, your friends being there with you. And so, yeah, it takes my mind off of things, brings things into perspective, hearing other people's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um, I would never suggest anything that you haven't spoke to with your doctor or anything like that. But a lot of times I question, especially with certain doctors, and and I'm not speaking to yours because I don't know who you speak to, and I don't know,
Hmm.
but I question especially the um, the medical industry with, like, if I'm talking generally, or the mental
Hmm.
health industry, in the sense where, like, they still seem to be focused on treatment and not focused on, not necessarily a cure, but getting away from the treatment and just kind of getting back to normalcy. And
Hmm.
um, I also question whether the medications um, help on the long term.
Hmm.
So it almost feels like medications, like, especially when you change them, they tend to have an effect, and then you're feeling better. You give your doctor feedback, and they say, okay, good, and let's continue this. And then, like, with anything that we take, our bodies kind of like figure out how to adjust with it, and then
Hmm. Yep.
they stop working as they used to, and then we kind of get back to that same spot that we were, and maybe a little bit of a
Yep.
lift. And, if you don't take it, then you get really bad. So you're thinking, man, I got to keep taking it. But you
Right.
know, again, I'm not saying you should do one thing or the other. I'm just questioning the idea that you know medications are a good thing. Um, because there's just, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I see it with folks that take. like ADHD medication or pain medication. I'm not necessarily so much with blood pressure and stuff to do with like your heart and everything, because that's something that you could literally die without it. But
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like that there could be a better job in dealing with what you're dealing with mentally and not necessarily relying on the medication, because I personally feel that it actually does more harm than good in the long run. Now, again, an opinion. I'm not a doctor. I can't look at medical research and all stuff and come to that opinion. I'm basing this off of talking to the hundreds of thousands of people I end up speaking to through the course of my life that say, these things and have seen it for themselves. So, um, I think someone like you should be in a better place mentally, or deserves to be. And, I don't think that medication is something that you should have to rely on when you have the ability to get to that place, probably without it, you know? And
Well,
I'm just riffing because I don't know you, like I know my wife or my mother or my sister. Um,
right, right.
but these are people in my life that I have seen with medications, and in the long term, it was better that they didn't have it. Um, it's like more like dealing with the core issue and the things that like we can physically do to get our brains back in line. I'm more of an advocate for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I have been in that place.
Mm.
Uh, I've been in that place before
Mm-hmm.
to where I felt like I had tried everything.
Yep.
Through my 20s, I really struggled
Yep.
with depression. And they did finally diagnose me. And then I went on to not be on medication.
Yep.
And um, I did good
Yeah.
for some years. I did good.
Mhm.
And then, things change.
Sure.
Life happens, things change. You have kids, you work, you do this, you do that. But through the years, I realized too that I was just so tired of fighting for my health, for my mental health, that you just give up. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
you feel like nothing's going to work. And I really had to make myself this last time get. I really had to be talked into getting on medicine.
no.
And
And I can tell by talking to you that you're not one that wants to rely on it. I think it's impossible to do the stuff you do and want to be on meds. And again, I'm not even
but
saying that you should or shouldn't. I just,
but since I have been on them,
yeah.
my life has done a total, 360. I am. You can ask my husband. I mean, I'm up. I'm out of the bed. Seriously, my husband took care of me. My mom and husband cooked and
Mhm.
they did everything. I only got up to go out and smoke a cigarette and come back in. And I have this thing about leaving my house anyway. So the only time I really leave my house is when I go to the doctors, and that's very, when I have to.
Yeah.
I'm not a kind of person that has to run to the doctor, every time I have a sniffle. I can't stand going,
Yeah.
to the doctor.
Same here.
I mean, I spent a year with my son at St. Jude. He was 15 when he was diagnosed with T cell lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's,
Mm.
stage 4, and overnight, in one split second, the rug was ripped out from underneath me, and
Yeah.
my whole life changed. In one day, I went from living in Louisiana to living in Tennessee in the
Wow.
Ronald McDonald House, and I lived there with my son for a year while he received high doses of chemo. And the things that you see while you are there, you are not prepared for
Can only
be-
imagine.
beforehand. There's nothing that can prepare you for that.
Yeah.
And what I experienced while there, I could write a book about, and more probably, because I met so many wonderful people, but yet I saw so many horrible stories,
Yeah.
sad stories. And I lost a lot of kids that I knew, that my son knew.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's with them. I just, But, whenever you go through things like that, sometimes people do need a little medicine to help them kind of get through the pain of the trauma that they've endured. Because let me tell you something, Mr. P, when you're going through it, you look back and you think to yourself, how did I make it? How the hell did I do that? Somewhere in me, God gave me the strength and the grace to go through watching my child and all these other children and these parents go through. And my son was amazing. I mean, a trooper, a
Yeah.
fighter. Um, he was 10 years cancer free, and it returned in his stomach.
Oh.
And he came to me one day and he said, Mom, feel my stomach. And I felt it, and I knew immediately what it was in my spirit, in my heart. I knew. My stomach dropped. I knew. And I said, let's go to the emergency room right now. And we got our stuff. I got up out of that bed. We went to the emergency room, and it was 10 years to the day that he had been diagnosed the first time, September the 11th.
Oh.
And 2019. And he died January 27th, 2020. So he was here for 4 months. And totally different atmosphere, medical wise. We dealt with so much shit. If it wasn't for one doctor, even my child might be alive today. And it was, the trauma of going through that then, of realizing that you're not getting the same care. Your child isn't receiving the same care that he did when he was a child now that he's an adult. He wasn't receiving the same care, and it was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Can I ask what you mean by that? Just
St. Jude is the most magnificent place for a child to be if they go through cancer. They have the top of the line, and they do not care about anything except the pain level and the care of their patients. And all I would say is that if anyone donates, I always say, please donate to St. Jude, because I've lived there and I know what they do for patients' families.
wow.
And whenever my son relapsed at 26 years old, even though he had been a St. Jude patient, if he had relapsed within the 10 years, but see, he had already made it to his 10-year mark.
Mm.
If he had relapsed before that, then he could have received care from St. Jude. But he didn't. And the doctor that ended up, it was messed up. They sent him to Shreveport. He got care in Shreveport, sent him back home, and that tumor ruptured.
Mm.
And when it did, the doctor went in. It was a whole bad thing. They cut him from chest down to his groin. It was pretty bad. And I went in one day. My daughter-in-law called me and she was screaming, Mom, you got to get up here. And I didn't know what was going on. So I got in my car and I beat it up to the hospital. And when I got there, I walked in there and they had Paul out trying to take him for some surgery, which I didn't know anything about. So he wasn't in the room, but there was the little potties they give to you that you sit
Yeah.
on.
Hmm.
I went over there and I was just looking around the room because it was so nasty. I couldn't believe nobody had been in there to clean it up. And the guy, the cleaning people, I was telling him about it and showing him, and I lifted up this lid. I had no clue, Mr. P, I was gonna find when I lifted the lid, but the shit was all the way up to the top. If my son would have
Oh
sat
my
down, he
God.
would have been sitting in shit. And I went fucking ballistic on those people. I went ballistic. I was screaming and yelling. That the nurse come back in there. She says, "I'm gonna call security." I said, "Bitch, you better call somebody because you fixing to need them."
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell better get their ass in here and get this fucking shit out of here right now. I am taking my son home. Hell no.
Yeah.
And it was just, I never ever experienced that at St. Jude. I never ever, never. I just was appalled at the care that the medical system gives. Oh, really? And then having to go through it. I watched it with my mom, but my mom was so late stage lung cancer that they didn't even have a chance to do chemo, really.
Mm.
So it was different with Paul. Paul, when he was 15, one day we were here and the next day we were there, and they had run every test on him within a week and knew down to the science what was what and what needed to be done. And they were just on top of their shit.
Yeah. So to kind of see how that went, and then just see how it went the second time, I can only imagine. You know.
Yeah, it's very traumatizing when you have to tell your own child that he's not going to live anymore, that he has to go home to heaven, and he's not going to be able to watch his child grow up because there's nothing else the doctors can do. When they went in to try to do surgery, the doctor told me that it was like tapping on cement. That's how bad it was on the inside of him. And so I laid with my son until he took his last breath.
Yeah.
And I made sure I was the one to tell him that, there was nothing left they could do. I didn't want nobody else to tell him. I brought him into this world. I took care of him. And that's how it was going to be in the end. And he was,
Yeah.
he was at peace. He was at peace. I wasn't at peace because, I feel 26 years old. He should live his life,
Of course.
you know. But I have a beautiful, beautiful granddaughter, a beautiful reminder, just looks just like him.
Yeah. She said she's 5 now.
She's 5. Her name is Heaven, which
Beautiful
is
name.
very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just a little bit of my story.
No, and I get it, and I appreciate you sharing. I know it's not easy, obviously,
It's
but
not.
I.
I like to share it though, Mr. P, because I want people to feel if I can do it, you can do it too. Let's,
Hell yeah.
don't hold it in. Talk about them. Talk about your loved ones because that keeps them alive. It keeps their memory alive.
And I totally get why it can be offensive if somebody says, "Let's not bring that up right now." Like, who the hell are
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Yeah, especially when I don't seriously go around and, come into a
Right.
conversation with, hey, just want to let you know my son died.
Right.
And it was a horrible death. And, no, I don't do that. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, of course not.
But but then on the other hand, to be called a Debbie Downer, I'm like, damn, really? I mean, I'm a pretty funny person. I got a sick sense of humor. I mean, and you can ask everybody in here. I love to laugh. I love a good joke. I love a good parody. If you're gonna do parody of somebody, a satire or something like that, I love that shit.
Yeah.
You
Well, that's
know,
why I say what I say. It's like, and obviously the experience that you went through makes a lot more sense in terms of the long term, uh, dealing with depression and stuff like that. But I hear that like lighthearted. I hear that, there's like you seem like to me not a downer. Like you seem the complete opposite, actually. Um, so
yeah,
I mean, I
I'm
get it. I get it.
definitely. It seems like, and looking at it, I see where it's almost like a dichotomy.
Yeah.
Isn't that the word you would use? A dichotomy?
Yeah, it's the exact word.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. You're never wrong for what you're feeling. You never.
No,
I think if anything, it makes more sense to articulate it if you can. You know, um,
definitely.
I wasn't very good at that when I was younger, and I definitely buried a lot of stuff. You know, that I shouldn't have. That I think today I'm even not still over, but it's getting there.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but had I been able to, I think, articulate the feelings and what was bothering me and not try to just, do other stuff to get over it, or
Hmm.
just like, for like sidestep it a little bit and not even address it, I think mentally I'd be in a better place today. Not that I'm like, I'm not like depressed or I'm not screwed up or anything. Not that anybody else is today, but there's definitely a lot of anguish and mental stuff that I went through that I probably didn't have to had I been able to just talk and get it out.
No, yeah.
So
There's, of course, there's days when it's easier for me to talk about it, where I can
sure,
tell the story. And then there's days where I can't because I know I'm going to completely just lose it and break down.
no, I get it. Believe me.
And it took me some time before I could really share Paul's story, share
Yeah,
our story, because it's a lot of story to tell.
yeah,
It's a lot of story to tell, and I could tell you some beautiful stories, of babies that are missing eyes that are so resilient that they overcome, cancer.
yeah,
It's amazing to see these kids grow, and I've known several kids. I know even adults now that are my
hmm,
son's age that, had cancer at the same age he was when we were there, and they became friends. They're all,
yeah,
they're still living.
hmm,
And, it's hard. It's hard, Mr. P. I'm going to say it. It's hard. The other day, and I've never talked about this to
yeah,
anybody, but the other day, I was scrolling through Instagram, and one of his friends that had been diagnosed with cancer, she's obviously grown now, or she's 30 this year. And, it's hard for me to look at it, and because I'm so happy for her. You know what I'm saying? Truly happy
Yeah.
that, first of all, she's alive and she's okay and she's cancer free and that she's living her life. But then it's so bittersweet because I think, dang, you know, I sure do miss my boy. I wish I could see a picture of my boy. So it's hard when you scroll through and you see things like that, and so you do question why, you know, why my son? Why all these other kids? Why? I don't know that there is an answer for why, except that
Yeah, I don't think
at the
that's the
end of
right
the day,
question,
it
to be
is what
honest
it
with you.
is. No, it's not. It's not.
It's more like how, not why.
Yeah, how? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oh God, I can remember when I first got to St. Jude and they took me over to the Ronald McDonald House to get my keys and get my room
Yeah.
because that's where I was going to be living for the next, what I didn't know was 4 months. Uh, and then we went home for a couple of weeks and then we went back for another 4 months
Yeah.
or so, something like that. So anyway, I went over there and I put my buggy thing that you load your luggage onto. I just parked it in the room. I didn't even unload it or nothing. I wouldn't even go in the room. I just pushed the fucking buggy in the room and I shut the door and I went down, opened the door to go smoke a cigarette. And I had my sunglasses on because I was crying. And I looked over at the table. There was 3 tables that sit outside and people were sitting there smoking. Some of the parents, and they were, laughing and having a good time or whatever. And I just started crying more, because I couldn't understand how could they laugh? How could they laugh? I didn't understand it. But later on, as your child is going through this and you're that parent that's sitting on the other side smoking a cigarette, laughing, and you see that parent come out with that look,
Yeah.
that look of complete, like, what the fuck has just happened to my life?
Exactly.
And you have to take them under your wing like someone took me under mine. And so that's how I feel about the YouTube community. That's exactly how I feel about the YouTube for how I see it. What I want to create for us. Yeah. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Gina. I don't feel strong sometimes, but I know there's a strength in there somewhere.
100%. No, I agree. I don't know. I think sometimes things happen for a reason. I had no intention of getting on a live today, and I just seen,
Right?
and then just for some reason I was like, oh, so,
Yeah, and here we are. We've had this wonderful conversation, and I thank you for that. Thank you for coming up. I really appreciate just having your presence. I really do. I like your vibe, and you're easy to talk to, and I like hearing other people's input.
yeah. Well, I just hope that going forward that you feel comfortable coming over, talking to us, and
Sure.
I'll be sure to come in every time I see you go live. But it just when the last time that I seen you, it's like I feel like I didn't get a chance to talk to you after, and I'm just glad that we were
Right.
to really talk today.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we reconnected. And I don't know about you, but I'm fixing to shut her down. We've been on 2 hours and 41 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, same
Thank
here.
you, Mr. P. Thank you, Mr. P, so much for coming up.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate you. And it'll be a joy to come over and to talk with you guys. And
Okay.
I will be looking for you guys to go live.
Yeah, and your call if you want to use it. I put something in the back chat if you ever need to talk.
Oh,
And,
okay, cool.
and by all means, anytime.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, honeybees. Talk to you soon.
Anytime. All right. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. So yeah, guys. Wow, that was awesome, wasn't it? That was awesome. I usually don't do panels, but I really, really enjoyed that. And sometimes we just got to change it up, Melissa. Melissa, quit being so, one-minded. Just do the same thing. getting to my ruts, but you know. Yes, Gina is so blessed, and she has a son who is 8 years clean of cancer. Praise God. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm just so happy. Thank you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I really do. Um, I missed a lot of the chat when we were chatting. I'm not used to having someone on panel, and it's hard for me to get to. So I've got to learn that, guys. So I'll be working on that. And didn't have Queen in here to slow me down, slow my chat down. So anyway, guys, I love y'all. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope something in this conversation today blessed your heart and helps you in some way. We touched on a lot of different subjects, a lot of different things. And yes, change is good, Gina. Change is good. If you want to help support the Hive, Honeybees Homestead Hive, hit that Cash App B at Honeybees Homestead. With all my heart, I love all of you guys. Thank you for being here. And I'm fixing to go do a little bit of diamond art. And I'm going to start cooking at about 7:15. Okay? 20 minutes. Okay? That's what I say to my husband. Okay? Okay. Oh, love you too, Kaisa. Love you, girl. Love you, Gina. That's right. Hit that Cash App, B. Hit that PayPal, B. Okay, guys. Love you guys. Bye, Nip. Bye, Miss R. Honeybees out.